What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Slackers, and today we got a fun video where we have some dev information from the devs. I don't really have a catchy title for this. Basically, it's information that comes from one of the devs on Discord. So we have some even more information about the game that maybe people who aren't a part of the Discord that they just don't know about. So allow me to try to help you out and relay some of this information. So let's start with a good one. Some people do know that Rollback is in fact going to be in this game, but however, some people still have questions about, alright, is Rollback going to be on all platforms? Nintendo Switch, PlayStations, 4 and 5, all the family of Xbox consoles, PC. Well, here it is from Rep himself, Thaddeus Cruz. He basically says, as he understands it, all platforms have rollback for 1v1s. And then the beefier platforms, they're going to have rollback for 3 to 4 player battle online. So that's good. If you're planning to buy this on PlayStation or Xbox, yeah, you're probably going to get rollback, netcode, rollback for all platforms, which sounds good. But if you're planning to play this on the Switch, maybe stick to 1v1s if you want to have a smoother experience for online gameplay. Next up is another this is actually kind of a cool thing to hear from the devs, right? And this revolves around sound effects, SFX, if you will, and a day one patch. So a day one patch is going to happen once the game releases. Now, from Thaddeus again, it basically says somebody was kind of, in a way, they were criticizing or critiquing the game and the stage music, and Thaddeus replies, Max is absolutely correct in saying that music is as much of an element of fighting games as the gameplay. Like the animations, the music will be something that the development team looks into after release. Same with SFX. Heck, there might even be some that make it into the day one patch. So they are aware that the background music or specific sound effects for certain attacks, they might sound off from these trailers that we've been seeing recently, but luckily the dev team knows about this and they are more than willing to fix it. Maybe not everything comes right at once for that day one patch, but it is something that they will be focusing on and hopefully kind of tuning up, so that's good news. Sticking with the sound effects or SFX thing, we have another little bit of information about Leonardo. So if anybody watched his character trailers, moveset presentation video the other day, well, there were some interesting sound effects that were used for his swords. It kind of sounded like a generic punch, and some people took note of that, going, wait a minute, how does a sword making contact with somebody sound like a punch, right? Well, luckily, if you're a fan of Leonardo, guess what? Leo is one of the characters that Rep at least knows, that Thaddeus knows, for a fact, got their SFX changed in time for the day one patch. So if you're planning to play Leonardo and you're like, alright, those sword noises that somehow make a punch noise, well, guess what? Those are getting fixed, so that's good. And at least the sound files for slicing the sounds now exist for the character, so that's good. There are characters, they're still working on the game, they're still updating stuff, so this is good nonetheless. Here's a question that some people might be wondering. Now, we do know 1v1s are going to be a thing. We know that triple threat matches are a thing. We do know that 4-for-alls are going to be a thing. But what if you have some buddies over? What if you're all hanging out at a friend's house and you're like, wait a minute, can we have team battles? Is that a thing? Because we haven't seen team battles. Well, luckily, Rep was able to answer that question with a simple, team battles are a thing. So, if you plan to ever try out team battles, well, guess what? It's in the game, so don't worry about that one. Now, here's a very intriguing one that I personally love to hear this type of stuff. But this revolves around training mode. Now, training mode is actually a very vital, very important feature for games. It's not really a feature, it's like a mode, but we know what training mode is. But it's a very important thing to people that really want to try to get better with certain characters and learn as much as they can, right? They want to lab some characters out, right? So luckily, the training mode is similar to Slap City, with a frame-by-frame option and a hitbox/hurtbox toggle. So you will be able to see the character's hitbox when you try to deliver a move. You will be able to see when they get hit. You'll be able to see all this stuff, be able to analyze it. You'll be able to just get more detail. So if you're really focused, I know there's some people that are like, oh yeah, I'm going to go pro in this game. I mean, if you do, good luck to you. And no, my hat's off to you on that one. But just in case you want a little bit more information, but wait a minute, why is this move not hitting? Or where does the animation, where does the hitbox end on this, extended lunge or whatever it might be? Well, guess what? Go to training mode and you'll get your answers answered in there. Next up is about grabbing projectiles. Now, this one's actually kind of cool because we've seen this. They have demonstrated it before. We've seen it in a few of the moveset breakdowns where, again, Thaddeus answering some questions. He says, yep, grabbing projectiles retains their level and throwing it increases their level. And what he means by level is the amount of power and the speed. So, for example, SpongeBob blows out the first bubble. That's basically level 1. And then if it gets reflected, it becomes level 2. So he's saying here, if you grab a projectile, if SpongeBob blows a bubble, and then he's able to grab that bubble and then throw it back at the opponent, it will be a level 2 bubble, so it's going to be a little bit more powerful and a little bit more faster. So that's kind of interesting. So if you can get really creative and you can be really on point with your character and you can understand how the projectiles work for certain characters and get the movements down, use your projectile, go run and grab it real quick and then throw it at your opponent again. Maybe as a little mix-up, kind of, playing a little mind game with your opponent. Well, guess what? Now you have a stronger projectile at your disposal. But continuing on, grabbing and then throwing a projectile will level it up regardless of who originally owned that. Basically kind of what I was just summing up. But yeah, grabbing a projectile and then throwing it afterwards basically makes it more powerful. Now, at the time of recording, we have not seen much of Lincoln Loud's moveset. We haven't seen, well, he hasn't had a character moveset come out. But one thing that we did know, I think we got from the teaser trailer back from right before Gamescom back at the end of August, one thing that we did see is Lincoln had his water gun. Now, there's a tiny bit of interesting information about this, where Thaddeus discusses, that exact thing, I should say. So here he is saying, either way, I'm having a blast adding more nonsense to the game while he still can. Thaddeus is always working on the game. Love you for that. But y'all haven't seen Lincoln's water gun move in action, and it used to be stupid. Now it's really stupid. So I guess this move is going to be absolutely bonkers, or I don't know. I'm not sure what they have in store, but this could be a move that will really get under some people's skin, really irritate some people on the battlefield, is what I'm getting by this. I don't know if he means it's going to be really stupid powerful, if it's going to be just an absolute annoyance to deal with. I'm not sure what he's getting at, but once it comes out, yeah, I think Lincoln's water gun is going to be one of the most hated moves in all of Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, but that's just me speculating. Now here we got a screenshot, poof, from the official Xbox Series X download screen, where it gives us the approximate size of the game, which, as you can see, 5.3 gigabytes. This game is not going to take up a lot of data at all. So if you're worried about storage space, well, don't be. This is not your typical Call of Duty that takes up 100 plus gigabytes of storage. It's like, what? Come on, can't you optimize your game better than that? But no, 5.3 gigabytes, and that should be pretty similar across all systems. All your Xbox, all your PlayStations. I assume Steam will be very similar, if not identical. I don't know what this translates to in Switch, but it can't really take up that much space on Nintendo, could it? So, yes, 5.3 gigabytes should be the approximate size for the game. And then last but not least, I wanted to end with something a little respectful, and this one was awesome. I love the response to this. There's too many people that are trying to pick sides, and it's kind of sad. But here's the thing from Thaddeus. I believe this was on Twitter. Yes, it was on Twitter, actually. So he tweets out, Imagine how weird it would be if Nick Kart Racers 3 gets announced, and then a fair number of people started talking about how they wanted that game to ultimately kill off Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And then he says, well, that's how it feels when people are calling Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl a smash killer, or hope that it ruins the series. And he, perfect response, please stop. Just don't do that. We're all fans of video games. Competition is good for video games. Two games in the same genre can exist at the same time. So I love the respect. I love the way that he carries himself. The way that it's worded. It's just like, yo, chill. Why do we got to pick sides? You can have both. You can play both games. Both games can exist. Both games can be great. So I wanted to end with that. I thought that was pretty cool. But that is going to be it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed this little developer information talk, discussion, something. I still don't have a title for this video. But either way, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed as always. And I guess I'll see ya when I'm looking at you.